Hello, and welcome to this week's lesson. I'm Kieran, and I will be taking you through the 6 words found on this week's social media, which contain popular English words and phrases. We look at words and phrases from everyday life here in the UK, help you pronounce them, provide an easy to understand definition, and give you a clear example of how you could use it in real life. Anyway, let's get started with our first word this week. Hello, and welcome to this week's lesson. And this week, it's the first week in May where we are producing a podcast. So I hope you are all okay this week and enjoyed the previous podcast. So this podcast is podcast number 15, and we have a lot more exciting words and phrases to look at this week. So let's take a look at the first word. And this one is beholders. Yes, that's beholders, and let's have a look at the definition. These are people in a place where they can watch or see something of importance. People who attend events are beholders. Wow, that's a great definition. And now let's have a look at the example. The football fans who attended the international game at the World Cup were the beholders of a really exciting match. The next word we look at this week is piggyback. Now, this is an interesting word and an informal one. So let's have a look at the definition to learn more. This is when someone carries someone else on their back. The person on the other's back holds onto their shoulders. So that's an interesting way of carrying someone about. So let's learn more by looking at an example. The girls decided to take piggyback rides on their friends' backs when they visited the city centre. They did this because their feet were tired. The third word we have for you this week is an interesting and beautiful one. This one is canvas. So what does canvas mean, I wonder? Well, let's find out in the definition for canvas. So this is the cloth that painters paint their paintings onto. They are placed on wooden frames to give extra strength. So painters paint on these canvases. So let's learn more by looking at the example. So the girl painted many paintings onto many canvases. She loved to paint paintings with a blue coloured theme of the sea. For our fourth word of this week, we have for you pigeonholes. Now this is a funny sounding word, we might all agree on that, but what exactly does pigeonholes mean? So let's have a look at the definition right now. These are places where people leave letters or documents for employees who work in a company which is like a postal service. So that's a cool definition. So let's have a look at an example to help us further understand the word pigeonholes. As the company broke up for the summer holidays, the staff cheered everyone up by putting ducks into their pigeonholes. for the penultimate word this week, we have for you the word concise. Now, this is a curious word, so we're all wondering, what does this mean? So, as ever, let's have a look at the definition first. So, this is the idea that people should provide as much information as possible in as few words as possible and reduce waffle. So that's good because it means we don't have to talk so much, but we do have to say the right things to provide enough information. So let's now look at the example for concise. The teacher told his students that they should be as concise as possible, so they could cover all their ideas within the word count. And now we have reached the final word for this week, but don't be sad, because this is an interesting one as well. So the final word we have for you this week is noble. So that's a nice sounding word. So let's have a look at what it means in the definition. So this is someone with kind and good personal qualities. They will often look out for and care for their friends and family. So these kind of people sound really nice and the kind of people you want to be friends with. So let's go on further and have a look at an example for noble. So the noble woman made sure she could comfort her friend. She stayed with her friend for 2 hours to cheer her up. Thank you for taking part in this week's lesson. We really appreciate your company. We will be back with more lessons each week to provide you with the most important English words and phrases. Why not check out our website and find out how you can further improve your English with our online self-study courses. We have a free 2-week trial so you can learn exactly how to use our course by the time the trial ends. Feel free to check out our social media feeds to keep up with the latest news. Anyway, thanks for joining us again, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye!